Hello everybody. Nice to see you and thanks for coming. And these sessions are really just are open and it's just to explore what your body might be speaking to you about, what might be hidden below the surface, because so often we just look at what's uncomfortable and what's happening and we don't like it and it feels horrible and when we start exploring this and exploring what our body's asking us to focus on, then we just get deeper and deeper into uh, what's happening within your thoughts and beliefs. And I'm really passionate about this work because I think it just takes you a step further and it starts to empower you. As in, instead of being a victim to the illness that's happening and the medical systems, it gives you a chance to really look at, well, what's happening here and what can I change in order to not only it's not just about healing. Healing is becoming more whole in yourself. So when we start changing these patterns and these thoughts and our beliefs, like everything changes in our world.
No, well,
So it's amazing. But yeah, thank you for coming. And Jeannie, hi, I haven't seen you for ages. Lovely to see you. Um, so as you know, I put these recordings on YouTube as well. So I just you know that it doesn't come up with your names. But if you don't want to be seen on YouTube, you don't have to put your picture on. But I just love having these conversations so much, and it's really nice to meet you. So I'm going to just open it up right now and say, well, has anybody got a question or got something they'd like to explore with me today? Okay, Garcia, no, Garcia, is that have I said that right? Thank you.
so much for first for opening up the space.
You're so welcome and welcome here.
Thank you. I've been following your work for a few years now, and I just resonate to it so much. I wanted to ask you about. I've been having a ringing in my left ear,
Okay.
and it's been going on for quite some time. I know it's an idea or like it's an invitation to listen more closely, but I also don't know what to listen more closely to. I have been trying to ask myself, like, what am I not listening to? And I can't seem to find the answer to that. I've also noticed that lately, every pain or whatever occurs in my body, it's always on my left side. Like I had a problem with my left tooth. I have pain in my left neck, shoulder. So like left with everything is happening on the left side. So, and I know that is connected to your maternal side or like your mother's side, but I'm also unable to completely delve into it. And I'm hoping like if you can give me more advice or guidance on how should I be looking at it or what is the right question to ask myself.
Okay, and it sounds like so you've already done some of that work. What am I not listening to? That's a really hard question to answer, actually, isn't it? It's like what is it that I can't see? Because you can't almost answer that yourself. But the first thing that occurs to me from a physical perspective is that ear, tooth, neck, and what's happening here,
Yeah.
or is all telling me that there is some tightness going on this side. So, yes, we've got the left side being the maternal, the intuitive, the feeling side, but it feels like it's coming in, and the tightness or the resistance is coming here. Oh, look, I put my hand up, sorry. Uh, is coming here on the left side. And I'm just going to mute those people that aren't on mute if that's okay, just because otherwise it disturbs the sound quite a bit. Okay. So there may be a couple of things going on here because also in terms of that left side and this what's happening in your ear, would I be right in assuming that it comes and goes, the noise, or is it there constantly?
It was coming and going, but lately it's been more consistent and more there, like a whooshing sound.
Okay. And if I was to ask you just to focus in on this side of your face right now, um, what do you notice? Is there anything that comes up in your awareness about that side?
It's like tingling.
Okay, it's tingling. How far down does that tingle go?
All the way like down to my hip, my leg.
Okay. And does that feel different to your right side?
Yes. Um, I definitely sense a bit of anger.
Okay, that's amazing. And how does that anger feel in your body?
Um, Uncomfortable and scary.
Okay. And what about physically?
It feels like I can't breathe.
Okay. Okay, well, let's just notice that for a moment. And I'm just going to invite you to take a deep breath. And if you can, just I know this is tricky with a big group, but just staying with it just for a little bit longer. And let me know if anything else arrives or arises.
Like frustration. There's the sentence that keeps coming, like I don't want to continue to do this anymore.
Okay. Okay. And so that sentence that's coming up for you, and I don't want to do this anymore. Does that relate to something that's happening in your life at the moment?
Yeah, like I think just general feeling limited or tight or uh, feeling pain.
Okay. So there's emotion here too. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So the things like that I don't want to, and you are pushing something away that's happening in your world at the moment. Would that be a way of explaining it?
I don't think I'm pushing it away. I just feel like I'm tired of living in that reality,
Okay.
not fully accepting where I am.
So here's your reality, and notice the non-acceptance or the resistance to it. And when we're talking about what's happening in your reality right now, are there relationships involved in this? Is this connected with people that are close to you or
Um,
demands that are being made of you?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
Um, yes, in a sense, I think I've been in a breakup process for the past year and so. So I think part of it is not fully accepting that reality.
Okay.
and also feeling very um, needing that support and feeling quite by myself because I don't live with my family, like I live in a different country. So
Okay. Yeah. So you're having to hold your head up and do it yourself?
yes, quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. And that process, yeah, it can be really demanding. Yes. Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. And thank you for this vulnerability that's coming up now. There's a lot of tears there
Thank you for holding space.
in in the truth of what's happening for you right now. Would it make sense to you that there's a part of you that doesn't want to hear all of the things that, that you have to do and don't want to do? Is there a part of you that is saying enough, enough, enough?
Yeah, definitely. Because I've been trying to push it, to pull myself together because everything feels very, it feels everything fell apart.
Yeah.
It's been a year and a bit over a year where I've been really trying to pull everything together and feels whatever direction I go, I'm not able to pull myself back together. So that feels scary and that feels scary.
Yeah. Well, you've done an amazing job so far just to get to this point, just to come here today and just to speak out loud. So let's just recognize and acknowledge how well you've done. And also that this journey has taken you into places that you probably wouldn't have gone had it not been for this breakup. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I just want to bring your attention to this feeling of contrast that comes up. Um, there's so much doing. You're going through a breakup. There's things to do, isn't there? And things that you have to get done and obligations in part, as part of that. And so becoming the character that you need to be in order to support yourself and be independent and get through this particularly difficult time that's happening, there's a lot of masculine energy required. Does does that make sense to you? Standing up, doing this, going forward, stepping forward in whatever way that you're having to do that, as opposed to allowing that emotion to come through, being soft, being open. The frustration in itself creates that tightness and the resistance to allowing the breakdown, as it were, allowing the emotion to come through. How does this sound to you?
That's 100% on point.
Okay. So life happens. Life happens to all of us, and we have to take those steps, whatever they are, wherever we are, whatever's going on for us. And sometimes things are really difficult, and there's a bit of a battle going on internally, externally, everywhere that you see. And so let's just see what that body's telling us. The body's really just confirming to you that there's some uncomfortable things going on right now, and your right side, your masculine energy, it has to be clear. It has to keep you upright. You know, this whole keeping your head up. And you may not feel quite yourself, or feel like you can't be who you actually are because things aren't going in that direction for you at the moment. Yeah.
Figuring out like who are you away from everything, like away from that life. Like obviously it requires you to become a different person, and that is part of the process that I'm very open and like, yeah, okay, let's see what is this taking us. But it's uh also feels like, okay, like I'm ready, like it's about time for things to start working out.
Yeah. Yes. And and so inside of you, there's just some resistance going on, and that makes me think about this tightness that's coming up for you on this left side, this feminine, the intuitive side, the soft side. Um, is it's having to. It's almost like that little girl in you is having to brace herself and do things that she doesn't want to do, and that discrepancy, the right side, is sort of leading the way at the moment. This will come back into balance, and that's what life is about moving out of balance and then understanding what it is we need to do in order to bring us back into balance. But I don't know, if you were to look at this as a journey, how far through this journey do you feel you are?
I'm not sure. Like, this is the scary part. Like, I don't know where I'm at because there are so many different elements. Like, literally, it feels like all the pillars of my life are all over the place. So, and it's not just one. It's not just the relationship didn't work out, but I'm also working on my career and my job, and because that also fell away, and my social circle completely like went away, and like every single part of it.
Mm,
So it feels like I'm not sure where to start to pick things back up. I have been focusing a lot on myself, and but also like, yeah, with other elements as well. So, so I'm not sure. That's a very good question. I don't know. I'm
that's fair
hoping
enough.
at the very end of it, and suddenly something will start
Well,
shifting.
I suppose I could have made the question a lot better than that, which is like, what things in your life are now starting to come back into place? Are there parts of your life that are starting to move forward after this collapse?
That's the scary part, that it feels I'm very stuck and I just don't know how to move, what to move, because I have been working and trying to change so many different things.
Okay.
And it,
Well,
it feels there is this stuckness that I'm just not able to move past
okay.
where it's coming from.
Well, my invitation would be really, and this is where acceptance comes in. Because when we're trying to push to find, okay, how do I move forward? How do I push out of this? Where do I go? What do I do? There's some illusion that we have to make a decision about things. Whereas sometimes the easiest thing to do is, if there isn't an obvious step, you just keep doing the things that you're doing until the step appears. Because part of the difficulty and the suffering in this process that you're talking about is trying to find the way out of it. And it's a bit like trying to get yourself out of a knot, and the more you do that, the more knotty it becomes. And the way appears, that's the truth of it, is the way appears, the more accepting you are of the present moment, of what the reality is. And it's if there is no step to take, then don't push for one. It will appear. And this just comes back to being, really accepting of this moment.
How do you bring more acceptance? So,
Well, by recognizing that to not accept it is to push harder. And how does pushing feel to you?
very tiring.
Yeah, it uses your energy up so much. It's so much mental energy to push against what's happening now. And if your mind is always there in the future, as in, oh, if I could just get this to that point, or it's in the past, as in, oh, I wish that hadn't have happened, and if only they'd done this or different things had happened, then that's so exhausting for your energy. It's so exhausting. So it's less of how do I do it and more of can I just be right now? Can I just sit with what's coming up just for this moment? And then just for this moment until time comes on, because the mind, your mind is what is creating so much suffering. Whereas actually when you sort of stand still for a moment, you see, well, okay, I have food to eat. I have shelter. I have a roof over my head. I'm actually, I'm still here and I'm standing and it takes a bit of practice. There's no doubt about it. I have been going through this process for such a long time. But when you recognize the mind is going into a pattern and repeating a pattern and talking to you in such a way that it says, well, if only you do this, and if you just do that, and if they'd done that, and if I can just get there, and if I can just get to that bit, and that's the mind. That's that story that's playing out right now. Whereas if you recognize that you're playing your mind is just going on this record, playing this record, this track over and over and over again, and you can observe it and start to separate yourself from that voice that keeps telling you to push. Then that's the way it becomes easier to be accepting, more accepting of what's happening right now. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, sounds uh, makes 100% sense. Like, definitely there is, yeah, there are parts of what's happening that I feel I think I'm putting a timeline to when I think it should have been over.
Yeah. And in
Um,
doing that, you're sort of shutting off this intuitive, this awareness, present moment part of yourself. So whenever there's a sense organ involved, it it's not just what you're not listening to, it's more that your attention is being drawn to your body and to coming inside. And it sounds like you've been doing that process and looking at yourself and working within. But the more you recognize that the mind is just sending you on a whole story, and you can bring yourself back to a place of centering and the what's happening right now, the more you feel empowered, and the more the next step is able to open into it when you're not thinking constantly about what should open, if that makes sense. What steps should appear.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for asking. Um, who would like to go next? Okay, so let's go Giada and Anjana, if I said that right. So we'll go Giada first. That's okay. Just
Hello.
'cause. Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Good, how are you? Nice to see you
Yeah,
again.
and you
My voice is
too.
a bit shaking.
Yeah, lovely to see you. So, yeah, what can we explore with you?
I was not sure about what question to ask before coming here because I have many symptoms, many things going on. So I was like, I'll just listen and then anything will come up. And I would like to say to Garcia, if I pronounce that correctly, that I'm going through something really similar in terms of my pillar, my whole life, my friends, my all my support is not there anymore. So I'm kind of confused. I don't know where to go anymore. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't recognize myself in the picture of last year, for example. So it's been like this since like 1 year, and meanwhile I was figuring out how to start again my life. I injured my ankle last month, and it took more than it should to heal. Like I still cannot walk, I still cannot go anywhere, and I am stuck with my family now, which is not really the best environment for me, and it's really hard for me to stay here. I had the same problem in the ear, like Asia, in the left ear, the ringing, and the thing of listening to myself is becoming really hard. Also with all this information about healing and everything. Like before, like years ago when I started meditation, it was much easier to listen to my intuition, but there weren't I didn't had all this knowledge, that I get through information, through reading, through social media. And it was easier to just do things that were right for me. And now that I really have nothing to do, I cannot even go for a walk to, change the energy and get new ideas. I just get stuck in my mind, and the more I try to listen to myself, the more I'm just stuck in the loop of the mind, and I cannot even like meditate for 2 minutes and feeling the same benefits that I used to feel years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just what I would like to share. And
Well, thank you for sharing, and I love how everything sort of comes around in a theme. And the problem for all of us is that we think that our thoughts and the mind is is real, and it's not really real. It's not really us. It's it's this human concept we get stuck in concepts and um, thinking and problem solving and planning, and we're using all these words all the time. And really, what we are not those words. We're this consciousness that sits behind them. We're this awareness. So when you think of a baby arriving in the world, the baby has no words at that point, and the baby is just sensing the world. There's so much awareness of what's happening, all the information coming in, sense organs, and everything it's hearing, everything's seeing. And then when we get words coming in, then we learn to put things in boxes. Now, what you're talking about here and what Garcia was talking about as well, and we all do it, is we get so involved in the words and the concepts and the rules that are created by us and society, and the things we should do and the things we shouldn't do, and the judgment. Um, we we start to believe that's our personality, and that's who we are as and as we develop coping mechanisms and ways of working. And this is the tricky thing, because the mind is so loud, and especially when you've got things going on like you've got going on in your life, you've got several voices shouting at you. You know, they'll be part of you. And I'm just saying this because this isn't a session when you know we're not going to pick apart these voices right now, but I'm just going to offer up some really common examples. Like there's a child part so often that wants to stay safe, that says, I can't leave my parents because I
Yeah.
just can't, I can't, you know, it would be too difficult. And so I have to stay here. And then you've got a rebellious teenager somewhere there that wants to escape and run away, potentially. And then you've got an adult part of you that is trying to fix the problem and trying to work out what's best. And it's a bit like sitting at the most overwhelming Christmas dinner table with so many relatives or so many different people with so many different voices. Plus, you've got all of the knowledge as well, which has all come in
Yeah.
via different teachers, and they're all talking to you all at once. And you're just going, ah. So, and you know,
Yeah.
like when we're thinking of the ringing of the ears, it's just like, ah.
Yeah.
I want to shut off from this noise, and that noise in your head creates so much suffering and difficulty and pain and confusion and overwhelm and all of it.
Yeah. Pressure as well.
And pressure, yeah, absolutely. Um and this is the sort of place we want to get to, where we understand that all of that noise is actually all of those parts of us that are no longer relevant now at this point. At this point, this is a different situation from that child situation. It's a different situation from when you're a teenager. But each of these parts is telling you that this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to do. And the practice really is to keep refusing. Now, this isn't the same as suppressing, so it's quite hard to, you know, my language might not really convey it properly, because there's a process. First of all, recognizing there's lots of different parts of you active in your head right now. And once you understand that all of them just want the best for you and want you to be safe and they want you to thrive, but only in this very safe way by using all these coping mechanisms that you used to use when you were younger. And that's the compassion part. That's where we go, I am so sorry you don't feel safe. I'm so sorry you want to escape. To each of these parts. I'm so sorry you want to educate me into the best possible way to fix this problem. You know, all these different parts you're just bringing compassion to. But then there comes a time when you're just sitting at that dinner table, that Christmas dinner table, and you're just observing all of those voices going, I can hear you, but I am not going to tune in and listen to that. I'm going to just come back to the silence that was there before I created all these voices. And yes, you can meditate, but you don't have to meditate. What you can do is separate these parts into those voices. You can even write it down and make a mind map if that helps you to really understand that when one of them pops up, you go, oh, that's the part of me that wants to escape right now. I'm so sorry you want to escape. And then you just start to observe it. So there's a process to it, and it's not an overnight, and there's no real quick fix to what I'm saying, but that's often what our body is doing. Your body is connected to your infinite intelligence. That's the unspeaking part of you. And there's part of that infinite intelligence that knows that you need to stay exactly where you are right now, and hence the ankle problem, so that you can find some peace with all those parts that are really shouting at you.
Yeah,
Does that make sense at
absolutely.
all?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because usually I was just flying away and changing places, and I was finding myself lost everywhere, of course,
yeah,
and isolating myself, trying to create silence, but being isolated from people doesn't help on the long term because then, and I cannot still continue pushing people away to try to listen to myself, and then when I'm with myself, I'm just don't know how to do. So
yeah.
absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's part of you that will be really resistant to listening to your parents, for example, or, particularly that tends to come up, family members. And then it's just recognizing that that resistance isn't you either. It's just another part, just another voice. And it's just trying to bring you back to this sense of awareness of who you actually are, even before the words, because inside of you, there's a still point and there's a silent point. And that's the point that everything else revolves around. And that's, it's a process of finding that still point. I hope that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
asking. Thank you. And Jana.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I'm in
Oh,
my
I'm
car.
just sorry, Joanna. I was just going to Anjana first. Is that okay? Because I saw her hand up, and then I'll come to you next. Is that all right? Thanks. So I think that's right, isn't it, Anjana? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks, JC. So I've been diagnosed with scalp psoriasis, and I've
Say
had
again. Say again what
scalp
you.
psoriasis. I've been diagnosed with scalp psoriasis.
Oh, scalps. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I've had it since I was 13. I'm 27 now. I've been doing a lot of holistic healing, so I've been doing Reiki on myself. I've worked through my inner child, but I still have flare-ups. And a part of me is very angry because despite all of this work, it's like the disease is not going away and I'm not able to do anything about it. And it really does affect my confidence because I feel like, oh, people are going to judge me when, they see my scalp flaking. I used to hide before. I used to try my best to like hide all of the flare ups, but now I don't. But I still feel like it's affecting my image. My dad also suffers from psoriasis.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just wanted to get more insights.
Okay. So, when you have a flare up and then it flares up and then it will die down, and have you noticed anything that's a common factor with the flare ups?
Common factor in the sense physically or
Well, just you see, scalp psoriasis can come up usually after a bout of stress.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm in constant stress, especially
Right.
Because I live away from my family and I'm expected to do things on my own. I don't have a support system to fall on. I don't have a family support system as well. So a part of me is constantly stressed and tired.
Okay. And what creates the stress in you? Can you unpick that and put words to it at all?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere to do around I'm not good enough.
Right.
And this constantly comes up that I'm not good enough. And that's why I'm not being accepted by certain people or I'm not accepted in certain situations because I'm not good enough.
Okay. And then that creates this reaction in your body, like a nervous system reaction.
Yeah.
And what does that stress and anxiety there, it sounds like as well, that comes up and what does it feel like inside of your body before this, before the scalp stuff? What does it feel like?
I feel like my body is constricting, my chest is closing, so my heart space has always been closed. I find it very difficult to be vulnerable.
You're doing a great job here. So thank you and well done.
And I think, yeah, that's the first reaction that comes to me, that my body closes. I can feel my muscles tighten. Often at times I can feel myself having to go like, oh my God, I can't breathe completely. Like I can't take deep breaths in.
Yeah.
Because my chest is tight.
Yeah. And that does sound like an anxiety reaction as well. So there's fear there. And I'm going to push you a little bit further. So if you were to look at that fear that comes up with some of those beliefs that you've said, like I'm not good enough, and or I won't be accepted, or I'll be judged, etc. What is that? Can you describe a bit more about what the fear is that sits inside of you? If you're not accepted, then what does that mean? What will happen?
For some reason, my parents are coming to my mind.
Yeah.
If I'm not accepted, it means my parents are not accepting me.
Okay.
I'm not accepted in my family.
Okay.
And I know for a fact, because my parents have brought me up in a way where I've always been under fear. So everything that I've been taught also was with fear. And that's been my childhood, where I was always put in this place where we're made to react with fear. And even like fear of survival at times.
Yeah.
And it's very recently that I discovered that even I'm holding on to my parents with fear and not with love.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it feels like to hold them with love.
No. And that's okay, because a part of you does. Because when you came into the world, you weren't that.
Yeah.
And that's all there was love there. And just thank you again for being so vulnerable. And so that's one belief that we can really throw out the window, that you're because it's not true that you can be vulnerable and it still can be safe.
Yeah.
And everybody's learning from that right here, right now. So what a beautiful thing that you spoke up.
Thank you.
The thing is with beliefs that we have is that they're not true. we hold the sense of them very deeply inside of us, but they're actually not true. Like that, I'm not good enough. It's never going to be true, because there's no loving being in the whole universe that would ever say you're not enough. You exist. And so there's no such thing, if you see what I mean. But we hold it as a human concept because of our experiences. Now that fear is something I'm really familiar with in my own life. And the question is, what if it's not yours? What if all that fear has been trained into you? The scalp psoriasis is often this sign that there's too much energy in the head. So that comes to that all that overthinking, the trying, the pushing, the how can how can I make myself fit in? This just like so much trying to fit in, or trying to make things work with this fear of not being accepted, or that's going on in the background. It just is agitating your whole system. And really the answer is very much what we've been speaking about earlier, which is the practice of just coming down into your body and just centering and quietening your mind. I mean, I'm saying quietening your mind. It's not an easy thing to do, but centering yourself and being further down into your body and feeling that sense of, I know I'm enough. No matter who told you that in the past. Now, because I'm saying it doesn't mean that you're not going to have resistance to what I'm saying, and that you're, there's still going to be probably part of you that's going to want to carry on and hold on to that belief, because that's who we are. We like to hold on to those beliefs. And that's where it takes practice. It takes so much practice, and then learning to walk through the world, knowing that you're meant to be here, and understanding that the fear has, to a certain extent, has been projected onto you. I mean, and gosh, we do love to hold things that is projected onto us. Our parents use fear to create some control, because that's probably how they learnt as well. And then it goes back down the generations. So there's a book called It Didn't Start With You. Some of you may know it. I can't remember the author. If anybody remembers, you can pop it in the chat, the author of that. But that might be a really useful book to read, because all your body's doing with this is really reflecting all that agitation that's going on inside of you that you spoke about earlier, about how that fear feels for you. And now you're not at home. Yes, that's the one, Mark Woolwin, thank you. Now you're not at home. How about that? It's the perfect way that you can start to learn to work on this regulation, and recognizing that that fear is not who you are. It's part of a story that comes up.
Yeah, I do struggle to let go of that fear, because a part of me believes that fear is protecting me.
Yeah.
And again, it's to do with parents, because that's another programming where they've taught that fear means protection.
What would it feel like to not walk through the world with that fear on your shoulders or on your head?
I feel unsafe.
Well, it takes practice.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of practice. The psoriasis itself is not the reason why you feel like a lack of self-esteem. It's the fear that is behind that psoriasis.
Yeah.
That is telling you that you're less than. And so this again is a practice of recognizing that you're not this person who lacks self-esteem. You're here in your own right. And there will be incidences in your life that have proven that you are worthy. You will, I'm sure, have amazing friends and certain people that, you know, really are, you know, got your back and are helping you find something new in yourself. Would that be true?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So there's your evidence for the fact that it's not true. And we don't have to be friends with everybody. That's the other thing. And we don't have to be accepted by everybody. We really, really don't. So, you know, it's not how many friends you've got or how well you're accepted is not a measure of who you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So rather than looking to the people that aren't a good fit or the things that aren't a good fit, look to the things that are really a good fit, like all your friends and the people that are really supporting you, and go, yeah, they don't think I'm less than. Why should I? See yourself through their eyes. And this will fade. The scalp psoriasis will fade as you start to step into the truth of who you are and release at least some of that fear that surrounds you, that's been projected onto you. You don't have to live that life that was programmed into you when you were younger. How's that sounding?
Yeah, I feel much lighter now itself. Thank you.
You're so welcome, and thank you for asking the question. And again, we all appreciate your vulnerability here. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, brilliant. Let's come to Joanna then, because you were popping in there, and we should have time as well, Zay. I can stay on, it's fine. Joanna,
Hi.
hi.
Hi. I have a couple things. The gynecologist told me I have a cyst. She told me that my testosterone was low. It was at a 9. So she has me on pellets. So now we're in the 400. So now I'm over. But the big thing is that she says I have adenomyosis. So it's like endometriosis, but the other one. So the lining of my uterus is growing into the muscle, but it's internally, not externally. But I am in constant pain. She did schedule me in December for a hysterectomy. I have had other organs moved. I would like to keep my uterus,
Yeah.
but I don't. I'm trying to figure out the whole issue that's going on with there, because it's like debilitating. It's like every single day. I'm in pain right now, but I have to keep
Okay.
on living and just going forward.
Okay. And how long has this been going on for?
Recently, probably within the last 6 months, that has been pestering me like a lot. I think overall, because I had my tubal litigation back in 2014, and the doctor did check to make sure I didn't have any endometriosis, and he said everything was fine. So
Yeah.
this is something that's fairly new.
Okay. Um, what was happening around 6 months or so ago for you? Was anything happening in your life that was um that was different or?
Yes, one of my twins, because I have twins, they're 22. My daughter, she is in a very abusive domestic lesbian relationship, and she has my grandbaby. He's 4, and so Honestly, it's just been really hard with her, because sometimes it's almost like they're about to kill each other, and then other times they're fine. And I have both of them reaching out to me for help, and it's very exhausting. And then the baby's stuck in the middle, because I didn't want him to grow up in a very toxic family, and I try to talk to my daughter and try to help her grow in love and her identity and just walking in wholeness, because she's also stuck in her mind. And but yeah, I think that was really stressing. I didn't realize it was stressing me so much, because sometimes she
Yeah.
moved like 8 hours away, by the border of Mexico, because I'm in the U.S.
Yeah.
And sometimes she was like, I don't have any food. Can you buy me and the baby food? And it's just really stressful, because I'm like, how do
Yeah.
you not have food? Like, there's two grown adults. Why aren't you working? And why did you move? So yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there is something really major. That is not no small thing going on. And if I can ask you this question, and feel free not to answer if you don't want to, or answer very briefly, but is a toxic relationship, mother-daughter issues, is that something that has been an issue for you in your childhood or your past?
Yes. And that's why I try really
Okay.
hard to um, grow my capacity of love for my daughter, so that I don't become who my mom was. So it's
Yeah.
something that I've worked through with my mother, and we're a lot better. And I've been working through with my daughter, because I love both of these women with everything. And I do not want to, because it's easy to cut anybody off and be done with them. But I do believe that love is the answer to everything. So I'm like, if I grow in love, then I don't have to do this, and we can evolve and not continue this generational, this thing that's happening. So believe me
Wow.
when I say I cry out for it. I'm just like,
That
God,
is,
you don't help me with this. I'm like, I love my family, and that's just it. That's my truth. That is my belief, and I'm not moving on that. So
well, that's so beautiful. I love that so much. So let's just draw the dots here, because you can probably already see that it's almost like history repeating itself in some ways. So there's a pattern here, and there's that real, I mean, that there you are, that female line. We've got this issue with your womb. Your body is recognizing the pattern as you're witnessing it, and it's not so much that it's your life, but you're witnessing it in your daughter. And I imagine, please tell me if I'm wrong here, but you're watching that toxic relationship unfold, and wanting it to be different, like really wanting it to be different. Secondly, you might be finding a conflict there with you wanting to reach out and save her, and not being able to. And thirdly, you've got something going on that was in your past that is being reactivated right now. And all those things together seem to be manifesting in this and there's something so deep and profound here about this pain in my womb and this tightening of the tissue, so that it's no longer flexible and warm and soft. There's a tightening inside, because because you may be witnessing this and going, I wish this wasn't happening. I don't want this to be happening. And that creates that tension inside. How does that land for you?
oh yeah, it's making me tear up, because it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the challenge, the challenge for this is so hard, and I have daughters too, so I really understand this. But the the challenge is to recognize that there's just a repeating pattern in your family, like a fractal. It's like a fractal pattern. And you have gone some way to breaking that pattern, but not completely, because it's now playing out in your daughter's relationship. And you're witnessing it. But be aware that when you're witnessing it, what is happening inside of your body. Now, we can only deal with ourselves. We can't save other people. You know, we just do the best we can, but we're in this place of we can only change ourselves. So the invitation is there for witnessing, knowing that this is not your path. As in, this is your daughter's choice when she came in to choose this, to also break the pattern. You are a source of firstly love and inspiration for her. But if she hasn't been able to draw on that yet, that's also not your fault, and it's her journey. But all the while you're holding the energy of, I wish something different would happen, that is projecting out as tightness to her as well. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think the hard thing is because she's called me and she told me it's like she lives in this double-minded world. And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm not ready to be good. And she even told me, I'm wicked, mommy. And I didn't say anything because it's like you know your kids, because you know they're doing what they're not supposed to do, and you have to let them just face their consequences. But it's so hard when you can go save them. You can go everything she needs. Me and my husband, we can provide it for her. But I'm like, sweetheart, you have to do this for yourself. I cannot do this for you. I cannot take this away from you. I'm like, these are life skills that you have to get. And she just tells me, I'm just not ready. Just help me sometimes when I need it. And it's just, yes, it's so hard because I'm like, why? I have the answer. I'm telling you the answer. Why don't you want to do it?
And yeah, and that's the difficulty, isn't it, with us humans. We can't change anyone else. And the pain is there connected with her. It feels like, to me anyway, that pain inside of you, it feels like it's more connected with that situation. And there's something deep here that I feel like I sort of have to say. I don't really want to say it, but it makes me think about what would happen if you did have a hysterectomy. Are you actually, what are you removing, and where's that tightness going to go after? Where's
It's
that
funny you
pain?
ask that because me having my twins, I had them at 17, and I was in an abusive relationship, and I felt like I lost my children. Child Services took them away, and so at 3 months they were taken away. So they were in foster care for a year before they went to go live with his mother's or his mom, the guy's mom. We weren't in a very good relationship. It was very toxic. That's why this is so important for me, because I wanted to break that, and I didn't want my daughter to become like that. That's why I didn't stay with him, because I probably would have ended up dead. But I felt like I wasn't a good mom. I felt like I wasn't worthy of being loved, because when the policemen took my kids away, I felt just powerless. And I always punished myself because like I had a choice to either stay in the relationship, and I ended up staying because my mother told me, if you went and had kids with someone, you have to be with them. And I remember telling her, he's beating me, he's choking me, I feel like I'm gonna die. And all she said, and his mom said, was, don't make him mad and he won't do that to you. So I always felt like it was my fault that I didn't keep my family together. I lost my children. And so my whole life, I'm 40 now, I've been working through all this, that
Yeah.
those are just not, that's not true. It happened. I made some very immature decisions as a 17-year-old mom with twins. It was not in a good environment. And so I did what I thought was right at the time, but I always wanted my children to live a better life than me, and I thought they were going to live a better life living with his mother. Um, so it all goes back to, like you've been mentioning to all the other young ladies, it's my identity and what I believe, and then I guess just accepting, like it's just life. We have experiences and we make mistakes, but I don't want to be stuck when I was a 17-year-old little girl. That's just the truth.
And don't forget, this situation is awakening a part of you, and it's awakening all of that story that's happened there and those experiences. And we all feel them as you're talking about them here. There's we can't help but have empathy and be so sorry that happened to you. But that isn't now as well. And that isn't now. And the story is now false, because you are an amazing mum. Just coming here and asking about, and talking about this is just testament to what an amazing mother you are, and you have become, and you've learned to become. And that's who you are right now, in this moment. Your body, there may be remnants there of that old story, which is being activated, which is, which you're feeling so deep in your womb right now, that is playing out from generations back, potentially. And so you're just, you're doing the best you can. And I just invite you just to allow some, I want to ask your womb to smile, which might sound a bit strange, but it's just more that look at what that part of your body has created. And yes, this is being activated now, but it's all being activated and brought to the surface. And you are giving your daughter a choice as well. And it's either, I can either help you, or you can choose the life that you're living right now. And how amazing that you're giving that choice to her. You're not providing lots of resistance or telling her what to do. You're actually giving her the choice. I mean, that's the best thing we can ever give for our children, is giving them a choice. And when you understand what's happening physically for you in that context, then there's something to be said for working with the breath, for allowing yourself to breathe into that beautiful part of your body that's just expressing all the tightness right now. And see what changes and see what happens, but by just working with the present moment, knowing that you have done the best you can do, and you're doing that every single day. And that story is now past. How's that landing for you?
Feels good. My uterus is smiling.
Amazing. I mean, I just want to thank you for sharing everything that you've shared. And it becomes really obvious sometimes, and this is a really good example of what the body's expressing, and how the situation started to arise, and you felt the physical manifestation of that as well. And so, you know, our bodies are doing a beautiful job, but, you know, your uterus is holding all that pain and tightness at the moment. And what happens if you can release it? And what does that project outwards in your whole system, in your thoughts and your energy? It's you know, it's challenging. It's a challenging life. They're challenging situations. But your growth through that has been incredible.
Thank you.
You're really welcome. Thank you. And Zay, I think you were one who was waving at me. Is that?
Hi.
Hi.
If you got time.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh.
Yes, but we'll make this the last question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for creating this safe space. And I really appreciate everyone's vulnerability. Yeah, your energy is really coming off really safe. So yeah, thank you. And thank you for what you do and who you are. I've learned so much from you, so I really appreciate your time.
You're so welcome.
So I want to ask you something very specific. I've been experiencing very intense vulva itching,
Okay.
and it's like there are like cuts as well. I'm not sure if it's because of itching or there are cuts and they are itchy. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And it's been going on for more than 8 months, I would say.
Okay.
And I know that there's definitely an emotional side to it. And I have a different perspective when it comes to Western medicine. But I was suspecting from Candida,
Yeah.
which I've been dealing with Candida and thrush for a long time. But I've processed a lot of anger. Yeah, like for the past few years, I would say. And when I was doing that, at the same time, I was also doing candida cleansing, like different cleanses when I was processing the anger.
Yeah.
And it was clearing up really well. I'm not sure if it's candida because I've actually been tested, like they did swab, and
Okay.
twice they did it. Once they couldn't get anything. Sorry for the details, but
That's okay.
but the second time they said it came out clear, which
Okay.
I already knew there's something more to that. But yeah, I was just wondering your perspective on that.
So just to get that right, so you first started having symptoms like 8 months ago, and then you were doing the candida cleansing, or were you doing that beforehand?
I've been doing beforehand.
Okay.
But the thing is, when I was dealing with candida, I experienced thrush, but
Yeah.
this feels different.
Okay, so you know it's different, so that's enough actually.
Yeah.
And around about that time when you first noticed the symptoms arising and the itchiness starting, and was there anything going on in your life particularly then?
The thing is, I can't remember when exactly it started, but I would say I was going through a major transformation in my life, I would say, because I got poisoned by mold and I was doing the mold cleansing.
Yeah.
And I was actually so close to developing autoimmunity, and I managed to reverse it through your
Amazing.
work, through emotional work, somatic work, and also like doing the actual physical cleansing.
Okay.
I think it started after I did that cleansing, which my symptoms really quickly disappeared after doing the cleansing and all this work. I
Wow.
think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it came around that time after doing the cleanse.
Okay. And what changed in your life after doing the cleanse? Was anything change?
Um,
Oh, no.
I would say I stepped into my authentic self because I lived for so many years as someone who I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think that cleanse was the first, like, last step of me stepping into my real self, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it really does. And so so this feels like something that's come at the end of a really, you know, a transformation, a detox. And yeah, there's a couple of things going on in my mind. I'm just trying to not get distracted by these two thoughts that I have. First thought I have is the reflection of the vulva to the vocal cords. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there's this huge anatomical reflection. You look at the vulva and you look at the vocal cords, and they look almost similar. And so often things that affect the vulva can be connected with the voice. So, and the second thing that was shouting at me there was irritation, and maybe residual irritation and anger. So first of all, if we look at the if you look at your voice, is there any issue that you feel might that in which that might be relevant, like finding your voice, speaking out, you know, whether that's a boundary or not, it might be.
When you say vocal cords, can it be related to thyroid?
There's a reflection. If you look at it from a chakra point of view, there's definitely, you know, the general area, the energy of it. Yeah, there could be. I mean, everything can be connected. If because is there an issue with your thyroid or?
There's not an issue, but lately I've discovered that my my thyroid was underactive because I
Okay.
was iodine deficient.
Okay.
And it was so interesting, the timing, because my metabolism was really slow for, I don't know, like for a while now. And I've been experiencing weight gain because of that slow metabolism. But the
Okay.
thing is, the thing that was really interesting is that I was trying to find out the reason of my persistent weight gain for a long time, and
Yeah.
the answer wouldn't come to me. And I kind of like let go and surrendered. I remember me like walking to the clinic to get the swab test, and I was literally talking to the universe,
Yeah.
saying that what do I need to do to get like deserve the answer to this issue to be revealed to me.
Yeah.
And one day after, I had an experience where I had to express my voice like in a very confident way in front of many other people, which felt really interesting because that felt like I was possessed
Yeah.
by my soul or my higher self, or I don't know. It just
Wow.
came out from me, and it felt
Okay.
amazing. And after that, I actually discovered through your podcast actually that my slow metabolism was due to my thyroid was being underactive, and I was
Okay.
actually iodine deficient. So yeah, I've recently started, I think it's been like a few weeks now that I've started supplementing with iodine, and my I can definitely feel the difference. Like my body doesn't feel that heavy anymore.
Okay.
So I'm finding it really interesting that when you say like vulva is connected to the vocal cords, it's that voice and expressing yourself.
So yeah, and then there may be other layers there for you as well. So you know, whether there's irritation in you at certain things that are happening in your life, I don't know. Whether there's some irritation or with people or relationships around you.
I wouldn't say I'm experiencing any irritation.
Okay.
I have been experiencing lots of irritation,
Yeah.
but not recently. I think that it kind of dissolved when I processed a lot of anger. And it's so
Okay.
interesting because all this anger would come up when it's full moon, always. I don't know, I feel really connected to the moon cycles. It always comes like different layers of anger surfaces around full moon. Um,
Well, yeah. So I mean, there's maybe something there for you to explore a little bit more in terms of expression, um, and also let's not forget that the vulva is connected to our sexual relationships as well and intimacy. And there may be something for you to explore there as well with, you know, in terms of intimacy and boundaries and the comfort or discomfort. So I just encourage you to maybe just ask yourself some searching questions around intimacy, expression, and could this be calling for a different way of expressing yourself even? I mean, I don't know, singing comes to my mind, for example, or, you know, just something with that expression element. I, yeah, so there may be just a few pointers or a few clues in there for you to explore. Or the other alternative is that this was connected with your thyroid, and as you supplement with iodine, things start to settle down and stuff starts to change.
yeah, I have a feeling that it there might be something to explore when it comes to intimacy, because that was my guess actually. I was thinking it can it be connected to shame,
Yeah, definitely.
because there was a lot of shame, especially sexually, in my past, and it's not
Yeah.
something I kind of explored a lot.
No, and sometimes these are the hardest things to explore because they feel deeply personal
Mm.
and you feel deeply vulnerable around those issues. Um, there is a podcast on vulvodynia, actually, which isn't quite the same symptoms. It's more about the pain. And in that conversation, I think we first of all went down the intimacy route, and that did not resonate. And then it evolved into being about the voice, but it might be the opposite way around here.
Mm.
and sometimes the body is just expressing. Firstly, it might be bringing attention towards your intimate life and asking for some attention to be brought and discovery around that area, that around your sexual relationships. Or it might be expressing a boundary that you're feeling quite strongly about. It might be a way of avoiding intimacy.
Mm.
Okay, well, I'll leave that one with you to explore by yourself, and hopefully that will give you some pointers.
Thank you so much.
You're so
Thank you for
welcome.
your time.
And thank you for asking the question, because it's one of those questions that not many people ask, so I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for coming. It's been really lovely to have a real house full this time as well. A screen full, I should say. We do these every month, so look out for the emails if you want, especially if you've got a question that we weren't able to get to. Yeah, come back again. It'd be lovely to see you. Okay. Thank you. Bye.